Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to take a short call on the government bill. I think, sir, that we on this side of the House know absolutely clear that there is a housing crisis and that it has an impact on our communities, the length and breadth of New Zealand. The government has known about this housing crisis, but I suspect that they have not worried about trying to address it. And if you consider, sir, that in the 5 years that they've been in government, they've actually accelerated the housing crisis by attempting to sell off state houses, by gutting the Housing New Zealand and removing the social focus of Housing New Zealand. And they've just now made it virtually impossible for families who want to buy their first home to be able to buy that first home when they've approved the loan-to-value ratio of 20% requirement in order to access a home. And so currently we have families, sir, who are unable to secure proper rental properties because the prices of rental properties are high, or the quality of the private rental properties are some of the worst that we've seen, not all, but some. We now have a situation, sir, where even though a person might need a house, even though they might be living in a garage or living in a car, if they trot up to the Housing New Zealand department, they will not necessarily be able to access a house because they simply would add them on either recognise them as client A or client B, client A having priority, client B, irrespective of whether they're living in a car or not, they simply, sir, would not be able to access a house. The government have said that when I asked earlier the Minister about how many of these houses will be affordable and what is the price of an affordable house that he envisages will arise from the result of this bill. The Minister's response was that that would be left to the market, sir. Well, let's look at the market. Currently, house prices, sir, all right, if you're looking at a $200,000 two-bedroom or three-bedroom batch in the rural areas, out in the boondocks, where there are no jobs, where there are no government services, you'd still have to front up, one still has to front up with a $40,000 mortgage. And then the question is asked, will that person be able to sustain that mortgage? And if a person is on a median income of $20,000 a year, then there's a big question mark. If it's in the city, sir, houses range now 2 or 3 bedrooms in the cities. Some of the cheapest are around $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. A person still has to front up anywhere from $60,000 or $90,000 deposit, and still has to be able to maintain that mortgage. With the proposal of raising 20%, so that means they've got to front up with $60,000, $90,000 deposit. But the income for some of our cities, sir, particularly in Manukau, if I can use as an example, the median household income is $40,000. Now, the question is, can somebody on $40,000 be able to sustain a mortgage of $400,000? There's a big question mark on that. But the appalling thing when the Minister says it's left up to the market reveals also, sir, that this government has not learnt a lesson, that the market has failed. That's the reason why they keep blaming the global financial crisis for the situation that we're in. The market has failed, and that Minister, that government, has not learnt a single lesson from the mistakes of the past, and they continue to peddle these ideas. This bill, sir, doesn't provide affordable housing. What it does is enables the government to control council and enables this government to be able to allow for development that favours their mates and their friends. Simply allowing land to free up, sir, doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be able to build affordable houses. In fact, once the zoning of rural houses are moved into residential, that in itself, sir, will ensure that the price of that land will increase. It's not about affordable houses. and anybody that believes that would also believe that lies.
I call Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Green Party doesn't believe that this